going live over on TikTok as well. Let's go. All right. All right. Let's do this, everybody. We are here. We are here. We are here. I've got my stuff going. Let's get the YouTube chat going. All right. My friends, welcome in. Hey, Franco, how we doing? TikTok. I'm streaming right now. I'm on TikTok. I'm on. Where else am I? I'm in YouTube and Instagram. So, what's happening, fam? How we doing? Hey, from Bangalore. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? South Africa. What's up? What's up? I'm in Florida. So hope you all are doing great. Show's about to start. Got some great stuff to go over today. So let me just zoom in on the show notes. I'm using Figma for all this. So yeah, bear with me. We're still getting our bearings, but I'm having a lot of fun. Yesterday was my first real stream, or not real stream, but just stream where I felt like I was I had a plan, and the plan worked out. So yesterday I did a portfolio review. I did we talked about a Product Hunt roundup of yesterday's stuff that happened, or I guess 2 days ago stuff. Well, today I want to drop that Product Hunt roundup, and I'm going to do a little Figma live tutorial where we talk about variables in dark mode. And then, yeah, but we're going to start off by talking about Figma's April Fools Cursor thing, because it's just so cool. So anyways, hope you're doing well. I'm just going to give it just another minute. Then we're gonna keep talking. So Wave from UA. Where's what's UA? Sorry. What's up? How you doing, Samuel? Samuel? Sam? I'm so sorry I said Samuel. What the fuck was that? How we doing, everybody? Let's go. Okay. So I think we're ready to kick it off, right? Enough jab. Let's dive in. All right. So gotta swap my sources. No, we don't. Okay. So anyways, Figma just came out with, or dropped today, a little a cool little feature about that basically allowed you to be able to change your mouse cursor inside of Figma, which I think is really cool. I was kind of just doing some design this morning, and then I found it, and I was like, yo, we we made it. It was really cool to just fiddle with it. But anyways, so they had this really cool behind the scenes thing on it where they talked about the types of content that they wanted to show. And yeah, just interesting stuff. But let's just talk about it inside of Figma. So there's this little button right here that shows up right next to your little icon or your avatar. And when you press that, this is what appears. So you can turn off and on that custom cursor, but yeah, it's probably a little bit zoomed out for you guys, but it's just so fun to fiddle with this stuff. And I think what was really cool was going to the behind the scenes thing over on Figma's website, where you could see the reason why they included specific types of design aesthetic. And I don't know, I grew up, or got started in design with, when iOS looked like this, and this was, everything on that was the cutting edge design back then. And also, I mean, the skeuomorphism too was it before, so I grew up with websites like that. But yeah, Anastasia, we're definitely over here geeking out over cursors. And I feel like you could probably spend 20 minutes just sitting here. But for the rest of this tutorial thing, I'm definitely going to do the Doge one in honor of Web3 picking back up. The world is bright again. Things are on the way. So we're doing Dogecoin, or no, just Doge in general today with my cursor. And look how ridiculous this is. It's a little zoomed out because I'm trying to show my whole screen, but this is kind of stupid, but it's amazing. So yeah, go check that out. It's really fun to fiddle with it, and you can actually see other people's cursors. So if you were on this design file, yo, should I let you all come in my design file? Let me go make a new file, and you can come hang out with me, and we can just look at each other's cursors. Let's go fucking do that. Okay. Sorry, I just was like, had a moment of epiphany. Okay, Figma or live hangs. Okay, I'm gonna share this. Anyone with the link can view. Okay, copying the link. I'm gonna turn that into a bit.ly link. Okay, give me just a sec. You all can come join my file, you know? Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Hold the phone, everybody. Hold the phone. We're gonna have some fun together. I hope I can see your cursors, even if you're not like, even if you're a guest. You know what I mean? We should really be able to do that. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, if you're just joining, I am over here logging into my bit.ly account so that I can make a shortened version of this thing here. Hold on. Hold on. Log in. Create new link. Boom. Rad hangs. So this forever is going to be the rad live hangs. Cool. All right. If you want to come join this file with me, come on and do it. Come on and do it. Yeah, this is awesome. Sorry, that was really weird, really weird laugh. But come and hang. Who's gonna be the first one in? By the way, I will really try to not dox you. I'm not going to look at this anymore. So yeah, but come hang out in the Figma file. Getting ready for work. No worries, no worries. You can just enjoy it in Anastasia when it comes in. You know what I mean? Just learn how to make responsive web designs. By the way, hell yeah, yo, congrats. That's like a big moment. It's kind of like your hello world moment, you know. So by the way, if you are just joining, we're not just sitting here trying to get you to go to another website. But if you happen to be on a computer or laptop, yo, first person in here, yo, we're getting blown up now. All right, hell yeah. So forever, this is now the Rad Live Show hangout session. So if ever you want to come hang out, I'm gonna start putting show notes and stuff in here as well. But yeah, if you want to come hang, basically I started talking about cursors, and then yeah, now we got some people hanging out. Yo, hell yeah, somebody's in here with a cursor too. Where'd you go? Come back here, cursor. This is so much fun, guys. Yes, wow, killer bunny. I love it. I love it. Am I the only one with Doge? Let's do it. I love the cat, Andrew. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's all change the cats for sure. 100%. Where's the cat? Okay, there it is. Beep. Hell yeah. All right, everybody, this is fun. So, Figma hand high five. You can't, it's so annoying that you can't high five inside of Figma. You have to go into FigJam to be able to high five. Should we go make a FigJam file too? I'm gonna go make a FigJam file too so we can high five. Because we have to high five. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I just did some content about this. So if you are interested in learning about FigJam and FigJam AI, check out some my recent collab with Figma. Hell yeah. Okay, so the cursor still exists over here. This is amazing. All right, we're gonna do let's start a session. Start. Can edit? Yeah, I guess. All right. Copy link. I hope I don't live to regret this. Okay, so if you want that link, you have to come into the main bit.ly file, and then you'll find the link in there, okay? And that's going to take you into the Rad Live FigJam hangs. And this is all so that we can do some high fives. Nolan, is Figma getting a big bill this month? Yeah. They are. We did a lot of collabs this month. It was really fucking fun. It was really awesome. And yeah, yo, first person in here, hell yeah. Come on, let's high five. High five. So if you don't know this already, FigJam is basically like a whiteboard tool. And if you wiggle your cursor really fast like this over and over, you will end up getting a little bit of a wave like this. And if you get it, come on, guys, can you high five me, please? Come on, who's going to do it? Oh, yes, there we go. Boom, baby. We got a high five. We're all just high fiving, jiggling our cursors back and forth. There you go. So for those of you who don't know, this is a nice little, this is a good segue into actual education, right? We're on here to do some educating. So I'm going back to the actual design file, everybody. So head back to the other tab. Here we are. So anyways, if you didn't know this already, inside of Figma, if you press the slash key, you can start typing. I'm pretty sure that works with guests too, does it? Can you give it a try, David Rivas? Or anybody else? Yeah. Okay, sick. So that's a nice little collaboration thing. And honestly, this is one of those moments wait, that's a thing inside of Figma. And it's one of those things it's not even worth making a video about, but I honestly I just love that feature about it, because every time I do it with a client or one of my teammates who are who might not know it, they're always like, wait, what? You could do that? So there you go. Bringing the energy, bringing the education for you. So next time you can wow some clients by just typing the slash key. All right. So what we're going to do today, show notes, going back to show notes really quick, I'm going to be talking about variables and dark mode today. Yeah, that was really fun, Hank. Really appreciate you. Will the file remain accessible later? Yes, you can. And by the way, if you cannot join, if you need to leave or something like that, just know that I am streaming over on YouTube as well. So at all times, you'll be able to access this later, so you can keep the vibes running. Yeah, all right. So let's get into the actual tutorial that I want to do, which is variables and dark mode. So the other day, I was working on this app, Tastree. If you want to know about it, I've got some content about it, but I also have another channel called Build with Nolan. I dove into that as well. I dive into Tastree a lot and why I'm making it and all that and how I'm doing it and stuff. Anyways, what I want to do today is explain to you how I set up my Figma file to be able to do this. Hold on one second. I'm gonna show y'all. Can I not hide comments? Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna swap this from light to dark mode. Boom, boom. Right? That was pretty cool, right? It takes a second for everything to load. Especially when you're running two streams at once. So clearly my computer is chugging right now, but come on, you can go. Keep going, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. There's a lot of screens in here, but as you saw, it just flips like on a dime. So basically what I want to do is I want to show you how to do that inside of Figma. We're going to start from scratch, and we're going to do the whole dang thing. And where am I going to do that? I'm going to do it inside the live hangs. All right, everybody? So y'all can kind of watch me. Everybody try to not just have your cursor over top of me if you can avoid it. I know it's going to be tough for you because you want to be seeing. I see you, okay? I see you, and it's going to be all right. But, I love the pencil one, Lynn. I'm going to switch the pencil because I'm in education mode now. Yes, okay. By the way, I just want to give a shout out really quick to my boy Anthony. He just posted over on Twitter, kind of went big for a sec around making this redesign of Figma 95. So go check that out over there if you can. But in general, it really reminded me of some of this stuff, which is really cool that it's the same exact time. But anyways, okay. So I've got already. Let me see if you can see it inside the panel. No, you cannot. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull this over a lot. There you go. Okay. We look like flies. Yes, you do, and I love it. Okay, so I have you should see now. Yeah. Okay. You should be able to see now all of my variables, right? And I'm gonna try to be cognizant. Let me know if I start falling off screen. But yeah, in general, when you click on this frame, you can see already that I've got a bunch of variables set up. I'm gonna detach those. All right, we're just gonna detach all of them. Well, no, shoot, let's not detach all of them. Yeah, let's just detach. Yeah, no, yeah, we should detach all of them. Yep, we're detaching all. Okay, all right. So let's keep going. So basically, what we've got here is we want to make variables. Well, shit, it copied all of my variables in. Dang it, Figma! Why do you have to be so good, right? So I just copied all my variables in from inside of my other file. So actually, you know what? Like, yeah, no. Let's make a new collection. I'm gonna make a new collection. We're gonna call this live hangs bars. All right, cool. So what we need to do, we need to rig it up so that way basically when I flip this over to dark mode, it's going to basically invert the colors, right? But it has its own little tiny custom colors as well that's like slightly more dark or saturated. So we're gonna get into that right now. So basically, as you saw, I just created a new collection, and you can do that through just pressing this, like 3 dots, and then creating collection. You can also rename stuff as well. But what I want to do is create some colors. So I'm going to drop a color. Let's call this background. I'm going to color pick this bad boy. All right. I'm going to create another variable. I'm going to call this foreground. You can also press Shift Enter, and it's going to automatically create another variable that is also set to the exact type of variable too. Like that is so important, right? To be able to drop a bunch of colors, which is what I'm doing, but I'm talking so much that I had to slow down. And here we go. Event, Enter, Shift Enter, important, Shift Enter, card, Shift Enter, task, Shift Enter. Okay, that's it, right? No, that's okay. Yeah, that should be it. So this is card, this is background, this is foreground, this is important. Could you tell that this was important? I hope you can. This is task. You don't need to tell that it's that's a task. It just is, okay? And this is event. You don't need to know that that's an event. It just is, and you will learn it, sir or madam. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, so I'm gonna go color pick these guys. So foreground, color pick. Event, color pick the event. Important, color picking important. Color picking cards. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna slightly change this color. Don't worry about that. We're gonna get into that in just a second. And then task. Well, you know what? That's kind of awkward. Grab. So I'm just gonna grab this, drag it up. Boom. Okay. Oh shoot, I'm following on the text. Sorry guys. Okay. Yeah. How we doing? How we feeling, everybody? I'm taking a little drink of coffee. Hope you all are having an awesome day. I'm having so much fun right now, just sitting here with you. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is going to be called light mode. We're also going to make a new mode. So this is really where variables turn up the heat, is in modes, right? So I just press this plus button. I've got a whole new mode, and it defaults sets to everything that I just picked over there. That's why it's really good to pick first. That way you can grab the colors and manipulate those as you need. Like if I hadn't set those would all be white again, which is not ideal, right? Okay, so this is dark. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is about to save me so much time. Hell yeah, man, Emma. By the way, if you want a more detailed version of this, you can get it in my Figma course, which is 25% off. Go buy it. Buy it. Okay. You know, I wouldn't be doing this for no reason. I'm trying to make a living here, everybody. Okay. So basically, dark mode is gonna be invert, right? Also, when it gets onto dark mode, these need to be a little bit brighter to hit accessibility standards. So I'm just gonna like hand grab those. We're gonna go back and do a color accessibility check later. But yeah, here we go. Okay, and oh yeah, by the way, cards are going to actually be white, and they're going to be very faded out on dark mode. On light mode, not so much, right? So I'm going to go white, and I'm going to hold on for the peanut gallery so that they can see. I'm going to go white, and I'm going to drag this down to about 8. Boom. Again, I talk about dark mode coloring in my UI course, which is also 25% off. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. So we now have officially set up our variables. Now, how do I go set variables, right? Well, okay. That shouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Wait. Am I using a variable? No. That shouldn't be a thing. So usually you wouldn't see this icon yet. But because I copied it in, you're seeing the icon, all right? Okay, so, but first we gotta rig those up. Yo, Deepachu, killer cursor, yo, killer cursor. Also, JB, loving the, what's that little guy called? Clippy? What's it called in Word? I just love it, I love it. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna go connect these. So if you don't know in Figma, you can just press these squares, and when you press those, it pops open your options for libraries. Now, I have the V3, but we're doing the live hangs bars, which is this. So just got that background locked in. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the foreground, right? I'm going to do this with the tasks. Boom. We're also going to pick the event color and the important color. Okay, perfect. We're running now. We are moving and shaking, baby. Now the one problem is, oh shoot, there's a keyboard in here, so that's annoying. I'm just going to delete that keyboard because that's where it gets really messy. It's when you have like components inside that you don't want to mess with the colors. Okay. Cool. So this is okay. Cool. So I've got I'm now selecting the cards, which I'm going to go set as card. Right. Boom. Perfect. Okay. Oh, you know what? We should probably add borders, but you guys will get it. You'll understand it. By the way, if you are just joining, you want to come hang in the file, you have to be on a computer. Come check this link out. You will be able to come hang out with me and 11 other people. Or is that 12 other people? Yeah, I think 12 other people. So cool. Hey everybody. Hope you're having a fun time. And all right. So I've now rigged up all my colors. Right. Super cool. So once you start rigging up colors, it's going to come in right here. Right. And you'll see it. So I've got it set to auto, yeah, okay. Got it set to auto, and I'm gonna set this from light to dark. Whoa! It feels like magic, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So what's cool about variables though is you can set it at every different level, right? So that's at the frame level that it switches from light to dark. Boom, right? Boom. Okay, cool. Now, you can also set it at the section level. So I'm gonna press Shift S. I'm going to grab a section and just wrap that bad boy in here. We are now living inside of a section. Okay. You can also set it to the section, right? So dark mode. Now when I drag this out, look at that. Magic, magic. Like seriously, every time I do this, it's one of those things that are just like, you just can't help but do this back and forth for a little bit. You know what I mean? So I just did that. Cool. All right. I'm going to ungroup that bad boy or unsection. Oh, geez. No, we don't. How do you unsection? What's the hotkey? Is that not a hotkey? Yeah, I should probably know that. I'm selling a Figma course. Okay, so we've got, you can also do it on the page too. So if you deselect everything, right, you won't see that, but once you deselect everything, you will see this little bad boy right here. You go to live hangs, switch it to dark mode. So that's gonna help you too if you have so much screens that you wanna call this whole page, right? I'll drag you over. You want to call this whole page dark mode or light mode? You can do that. You know what I mean? So that's there you go. Live tutorial, first one, baby. That was really fun. I hope you had some good times right there. I think yeah. Hey, Sonny, over on Instagram, you want to see it again? You could definitely see the whole thing again from start to finish, including the vibes that we had in the beginning where we started talking about our custom cursors. You can always do that by going and checking out my YouTube because I'm also streaming over there and you can rewatch everything. So here we go. I'm going to switch it over. Boom. All right. Here we go. Just one more for good measure. For good measure. Whoop. That's dope. It's just... You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, and the coolest part is where you can do that with variables. So actually, this one still sticks in my memory. You know, on the day that this got dropped in config, all of the variables and stuff like that. Now, I had been like thinking about ways to be like, you know, fancy with like workflows and stuff like that. But you know, what was really cool, like, and this still is like, I got this perfect vision in my head, is they went, somebody went and posted on Twitter, they made a 3 variant component where one variant was Charmander, the second variant was Charizard, and the third variant was, I don't know what the next evolution level is on that guy. Maybe I even missed one, so I'm so sorry for Pokemon lovers out there. But anyways, and so what they did though was they made each section set to variable 1, 2, and 3. And then that way, when you dragged in the component, right? Like, so let's say that this is the component. I'll just connect it as like dark, right? Or the foreground. Once I move it in, it turns into light. because that swaps, right? And so you can do that with components too, where you set this as a component, you make variants with different numbers, and then inside of here, instead of color variables, you would set a new number variable, which would be 1, 0, or 2, right? And then basically you make a component, you make two variants, and then you assign the variant selection. Now, I was just talking a lot of words, saying a lot of fancy things. I understand that. You know what's cool though? If you want to understand that better, go check out my Figma course, which is 25% off because we go into all that. So, bye. I just love it. Sorry, everybody. I know that I don't want to sit here and show my stuff, but you know something's got to keep supporting the stream. You know what I mean? So here we are. Zoom in. There we go. There we are. Cool, everybody. So let's just take a moment to collect ourselves as we switch over into the next step of our journey. Hope you all are having a fun time. I'm having an awesome time just hanging out with you. I'm streaming right now on TikTok. We got 14. Instagram is pumping today with 42. Wow. Hey, everybody. And then YouTube, got a few comments actually. Hey guys, I can't see the amount of people in there, but I can see that there are people chatting. So what's up, everybody? Yeah. Hope you all having an awesome time with me. And next up, we are going to switch over. We're going to switch gears. And you know what? I just realized I didn't update the damn. Hey, this show's about to start. Sorry about that. I went through design news. I did a live Figma tutorial already, so yeah, you know, it's okay. I'm still getting the hang of this. I should truly try to like get some like hotkeys going for this, right? But you know, I hope you I hope you mind the mess, and just know that we're all learning, we're all growing together, and you know what you can do is the world is yours once you grow enough. How am I doing the neat bento streaming layout? Well, actually, I'm going to mess with the frame for a second. There's actually a overlay on top of multiple layers of video. So I'm fancy right now. Let me show you. Okay, it's locked. Here we go. No, that's not the right lock. I'm gonna move it over. Sorry, Streamlabs is like, I've got it so small. Okay, here it is. Watch this. Oh! Just broke that fourth wall, right? A little bit. I mean, I'm breaking the fourth wall all the time, but for TikTokers, here, over on the TikTok side, this is what I just did. Overlay. Ah! See, there's like two layers of it, and that's how I did it. So, with just little cutouts in the back. So, yeah, if you want to try going stream and go do that, because it's been hella fun doing it. All right, so let's kick off into the next step, which is going to be a banger. We're going to be going into a portfolio review. So we're going to be stepping outside of Figma, yeah, I hope you guys had some fun with me inside of the FigJam file. If you want to come really quick and do another little high five, anybody who's left, we got some people still left in the Figma files. Come on, come over to this tab. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. I gave a lot of confidence that somebody was gonna be just waiting for me to do a high five, so never mind. Okay. So today we are doing a portfolio review. Oh, somebody's here. Okay, thank you so much. Come on, Arun, get over here. There you go. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate you. All right. Got a lot of high fives in. Yes. Okay, cool. Redeemed myself there a little bit. So, going back to it, we are going to do portfolio review. It is portfolio review time, so let me go back over to my stream. I'm going to go ahead and flip the title card over. Boom. Portfolio review. Are you ready for the portfolio review? I am. I'm going to talk like that the whole time, by the way. Boom. Okay. So today we are doing a great. I haven't looked at it yet. Dixit's portfolio. is how I'm going to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry if I butcher it. It's a yeah, it's a tough name for me to say properly, but I'm excited to look at your portfolio. Let's do it. Okay. So, anyways, first off, right off the bat, we are jumping in and let's go. The all-in-one designer. Okay. First off, this I don't think is color accessible, is it? I don't think so. I really don't think that's color accessible. Let me check. By the way, I'm usually a Mac user, so I'm like, where's the body? So I don't know how to take a screenshot very easily. Don't judge me, please don't judge me. Oh fuck, that's just not color accessible. I just know it. Wait, there's probably a Chrome extension, isn't there? Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out, but I don't think that this is color accessible. First off, with this black, the white is, that's fine. But if you're gonna have this blue, make this a punchy blue, right? Because this is super muted on this like tealish color. So yeah, I would love it if you could play with this. Because here's the thing, you know, I'm gonna say this over and over and over and over. If you are trying to apply for jobs as a designer, you need to be ticking all of the boxes that I'm going to have you design on my team, right? You know, for me, I need to not stress about doing color picking for you on every design that you're doing. But when I see something like this, I'm like, damn, is this person going and making sure that the designs that they're making is accessible? And by the way, yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention this, Samuel, and anybody else. I am doing these portfolio reviews every live that I'm hopping on. I'm going to do a portfolio review. So if you want one, check out my link in bio. In there is a portfolio review card. And yeah, you'll there basically takes you to a little form. And yeah, yesterday I was telling you to go DM me. Don't DM me anymore because like there was a bit of coming in, and I want to make sure that I like know which ones I've done or not. So yeah, so head over to my. I'll just fucking show you. I hold the phone. Ryan Nolan /links. This is my bio, and in here in the mobile view, you'll have to scroll a little bit. But oh geez, no. What? Jeez. Shoot. Okay. Damn. Okay. Just DM me then. I only did it on one link. I didn't do it on my links page, so never mind. Never mind. But it, yeah. Stay tuned. Once I hop off this stream, then I'm gonna have that link sorted, and we're gonna fix it. I don't feel like going in and changing that right now live. So, anyways, okay. Let's get into the actual juice. Operating a rapid growth startup. Setting has enabled operating in a rapid growth startup setting has enabled me to wear multiple hats. Consequently, I've acquired diverse skills, not limited to design, but extending to voiceovers as well. Okay. I'd say you gotta cut that voiceovers line. That really threw me off. I felt like the paragraph was pretty solid. And then you came in with voiceovers, and it's like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, you know, cool. Like, if you've got a passion for voiceover, hell yeah. Like, I wish I could make some really cool voices. I really suck at accents. I'm like the worst at accents. It just that's my life. But like, so that's fucking cool. That's cool. But don't have that as your main paragraph, because like that really threw me off. And if I actually read that, which probably most people won't. That's too long of a paragraph in general. But if you want people to read that and then they get to there, I feel like they're going to get pretty hung up. They're going to be like, wait, what's going on? Like, how does voiceovers help you contribute to my company, right? So I've now hired multiple designers. In the past year, I've hired 2. And both times I came in and I was like, I need this person to do this, this, and this. And like, and so for me, every time that I'm looking at a portfolio, I am considering how are they going to do when they get into my environment, right? When I throw them this project or this piece of this project, I know I'm going to have to ramp up, right? But how quickly can I get to the point where I can give them something and I don't need to check in with them too often, right? Like, I want to envision that, right? And for me, voiceovers does nothing but confuses me on how it's going to play into it. Now, look, I'm moving really slow here. I'm moving really slow, and I'm going to try to take this step by step because this is like these little details, right? If I got to that point, you need to on this sentence take it to the next step because honestly, man, like this first sentence is pretty solid, right? I'd say maybe like it was a little bit hard to read. There was too many words: operating, rapid growth, setting. Like those are big words, right? Like, however, I think you could say that in another way that's a little bit cleaner. Of like I've only worked in rapid growth startups, and that's the way that I approach my design. Like, boom, blow my hair off, and I think that's going to help you a lot when and honestly, that's a really good thesis, right? But the thesis gets muddy once you start talking about your voiceover stuff. Let's talk. That's great to have a button right there. It looks like it goes to an email link. That's okay. I think that's cool. That's cool. Again, though, the black on this blue, I don't know if it's accessible. Maybe it is. I just really don't feel it is. Okay, design proficiency, digital strategy, content creation, multimedia production. Yeah. See. Okay. Look, if you are trying to apply for design jobs and you've got 4 bullet points and 3 of them are not about design but rather marketing, don't do it. Don't do it. Cut these because listen, like if you want to go get work in social media, content creation, digital strategy, multimedia production, do it, but make it another URL. Make it another path. Because if I'm looking at your stuff here, I want to see design proficiency and there are 3 other design points, right? Because cool, like I get how you can see like how you are like, hey, this might help me like stand out, right? But it's helping you stand out in the wrong way. Like this shit of like rapid growth startup setting has enabled me to wear multiple hats. Hell yeah. Make those the 4 points, right? Go use those and put those here somehow in different ways on how your design strategy has gotten affected because of the way you're wearing multiple hats, right? Boom. Go do that. This is a nice shot. I would say if you could get this shot above the fold, because that doesn't feel above the fold. I think that best case, most sites you're gonna be seeing like right about here is there, which is okay, but have it start peeking through a little bit, right? Like you don't need to hit them over the head with some banging UI shots, but have it so that I know it's there, so I can keep scrolling down if I don't want to read any of this stuff. Which, by the way, nobody's gonna read all this stuff because like people will read this, right? I definitely think people would read this. A couple other things with this. I'm hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but these icons are not connected to those bullet points, right? And so, like again, if I'm looking at how I can plug you in as a designer into my startup or whatever I'm doing, and if I'm trying to be very cognizant of the people I'm taking in and the approach that you're taking, well, hey, how do you use icons? Do you just choose a random icon because it feels like it? And so for like that's a problem. That's a problem. Every icon in your design needs to be a metaphor for the subject or the label that's right there, right? And so you just throwing up some like digital strategy, which is like this flower or whatever this thing is, like it's pulling away from digital strategy, right? And so, honestly, digital strategy, that's a tough icon to make, right? And so I would say, don't do an icon. Show me some work in that field, right? You got some design proficiency? Show me a little shot of a design shot. Maybe it's this shot, right? But then if you want to also preach about digital strategy, show me some stuff that you did a digital strategy for. Make it so I can go find that right away, right? And make it connected to a case study. And holy shit, these 4 bullet points just went from 4, things that you might pass over to 4 jumping off points to learn about you, right? Like, that's huge. That's huge. Honestly, like, put a pin in it, everybody. Go make that on your homepage because that's a dope thing. If you've got like different, industries and proficiencies that you're good at, find a way to visualize that. Put them in cards and make it above the fold, and you've got something that makes me want to go learn about you, right? Because look, again, I hired 2 people in this past year. Like both times, I was walking in doing like 100 portfolio reviews a day, like right. And so I'm coming in, I'm not looking to read about you. I'm looking at your work and I'm looking at your process about how you came to that work. But something like that I was just talking about might distract me enough to actually be like, yo, Dixie got something, and they stand out, right? So there we go. Oh, hi from Dominican Republic. I learned a lot with you. Thanks so much. Yo, Soy, hope you're having an awesome time. Hope you just got something out of that rant, because look, I don't want to toot my own horn, but hell yeah. And oh gosh, look at this. Okay, look at this. You're using the same icons here as you are up here, right? So, and that's another moment for me where I'm like that would be really dope if you had icons up here that were more relevant, and then you use them in the same exact context down here, but you didn't, right? Like in this year, you've designed 1,000 screens. Well, up here, use that icon for digital strategy. So that doesn't translate for me, right? We're sitting here, we're trying to train our users. You're a product designer, and you're trying to train your users through visualizations, right? So once you see a visualization and contextually it makes sense, they put that in their brain, they're gonna use that symbol later. When they see that symbol, they're gonna be thinking digital strategy. But no, for me, I'm thinking 1,000 screens. Okay, did you do a digital strategy for 1,000 screens? I don't know. How does that work for marketing? It doesn't. So wait, shit, this icon's just randomly placed. No. And look, I know I'm coming down really hard right now, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but dude, these are big things that really affect what I haven't even gotten to your work yet, but I just know that if you're not being that intentional on the way that you're presenting this information, then you're probably not intentional on the way you use icons in your products. And so if I'm a hiring manager and I'm looking at that, I'm going to see that and I'm going to get concerned. You know what I mean? So wait, how do you connect your computer screen to TikTok Live? Yo, Cam, I'm streaming from TikTok Live Studio. And I just got to say, Live Studio is amazingly designed on TikTok side. I don't mean to get derailed here, but honestly, I just want to show the UI of Live Studio for a second. This is gonna be a weird moment. Oh, look at that! It actually. Oh shoot! No, hold on. I'm gonna try to keep it from mirroring. But look at this. Just banging layer system. The live preview is optimized for height, right? And then there's some stuff about the live data. Just super cool. And yeah, you have to request access for it. But anyways, all right. Sorry for getting derailed. Yo, Leon, how you doing from Colombia? Hope you're having an awesome day. And yeah, all right. So continuing on, in this year, you've designed over 1,000 screens. That's pretty cool. 6+ industries. That's cool too. It shows that you've got dynamic amount of work. And cut that 8 hours plus regularly. I think I don't know what that means, but if each screen takes you 8 hours, that's a problem, right? Or maybe not a problem, but just when you're talking about a group of screens, maybe the first screen takes a few hours, or 3 or 4 or 5 hours. But when you're getting into a flow, you should really be able to use those patterns throughout the whole user flow, and you can start getting into an hour a screen or less, right? And so so whatever this is, it's derailing me. I don't like it. Cut that line for sure. If you ever side-eyed Canva, this would surprise you. What is that? That's an interesting thing. In the vast realm of creativity, my canvas begins as a blank space. Figma Cursor transforms into a wand of possibilities. That's interesting. Okay. What is this? What is happening? Form the UI landscape. Okay. I mean, yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how this connects to, I don't know what kind of jobs you're applying for. But I like this. I just don't, if you're applying to product design jobs, I don't think this would help. It's interesting though. It's again where it's one of those moments where it's interesting enough to make you stand out in a way, but it's just contextually placed in a weird spot. You know what I mean? If you've ever side-eyed Canva, this would surprise you. I love that line. It made me press play on this thing, where I might have skipped it if I just saw that dragon cover image. but then now that I press play, I'm like, how does this connect to Canva? Maybe you've got some audio that I'm not hearing right now. But yeah, I mean, dude, if you're making a custom thing talking about you and your process and all of that, why is it down here? Why is it down here? It should be up here. You should cut this whole paragraph and make that video, right? Like if it is what I thought it was, and it seems like it is. So and somehow find a way to lay that line over it to make me press play, because that's dope too. So it's like so close, but like it's like that 5% makes it like contextually confusing for me. And so yeah. Vig and anybody else who wants their portfolio reviewed like this, go hit up my, just go DM me, Tomorrow I'll tell everybody to go to my bio link. But for now, go DM me. My social media manager will be complaining at me some more, but fuck them. We're making it better for you. So DM me your portfolio anywhere you are, and we will, I'll chat a little bit about stuff. I'll chat a little bit about stuff. I will do a portfolio review live, maybe. I don't know. The exhibition is right below what interests you. Okay. Again, like solid copy, right? Solid copy. I'm enjoying the copy. I think you should continue your foray into it. However, seeing these, I'm like, yo, like, what did you do of this? Digital identity? Okay, I'm looking for a product designer. Again, I'm looking at product design lens. So this feels a bit heavy on the branding, which is okay. Not like it's not a bad thing to be heavy on branding. However, if you're trying to apply for product design jobs, I don't care to see your signs that you made for this thing. And I mean, like, nice logo, cool. Like the usage across the board. But like, again, if you're applying for an agency job that does some branding and on the requirements say that you will be doing some branding, cool. But otherwise, don't show me these projects. Maybe show me this one. Cool. So the other day I talked about how I don't like opening links that are Figma links for a portfolio. I like opening a website. Maybe I'm old school, but it just feels like you took that extra step, where also a lot of other people are still taking that step, and it's good, and that's a good thing to take that step to build a website out, and so yeah, like Figma portfolios, I'm not a fan of them. However, I will say the way that you did it, like right here, where the case studies took me out. Okay, no, that's the wrong click. The case study took me out to Behance. That's okay. That's okay, because again, like, we're getting into the weeds on the case study now. If I'm getting to that point, I'm clicking it. I'm okay with going into to Behance case study, where you can be really punchy and pretty and all that stuff. I mean, even a Figma link, it's okay. I don't know. I would say Behance is probably a little bit better if you're going to do a case study like this on an external website link. Obviously, case studies inside of the website is the best case scenario. But all I wanted to say is I'm okay going into Behance. We at Calypso undertook our website redesign and rebranding project. Okay. Old website interface. Okay. I love the visualizations here. I think those are really nice. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm like, this is where I'm starting to get a little confused. Did you work at an agency? Do you operate as an agency? That's where I'm a little confused, because what I'm going to assume, looking at this, is you worked at an agency and helped them rebrand, right? And like, if that's not the case, then you need to give me some more context before I leave, right? Like, crushing it on the copy, right? So give me some good juice copy right here too. You know what I mean? Make me want to click this, other than just the showiness. Because there's always a combo of showiness and actual like context that makes me want to pick one case study over the other, right? Because here's my process when I go about looking at portfolios. I'm gonna go big screen right now. Okay, we're gonna be looking at that. Switching over the titles. Show is not about to start. It started a while ago. Okay, here we go. So look, if you are applying for jobs, and or sorry, no, how I, as a hiring manager, review portfolios. Let's dig into it. So I am looking at a bunch of portfolios all at once, right? Yours is maybe 20th in line, 50th in line, right? You got to understand that's how people, hiring managers, are coming into these, right? On best case scenario is that, right? Worst case is you're getting filtered by AI and all that stuff, and all of your website doesn't even matter. All of that's not even relevant. But if they are looking at your website, it's probably somebody who's looking at a bunch of portfolios all in one day, in one sitting, right? And so understanding that context. Now here's how I go about it. I'm not sure how other hiring managers have done it. But this is how I did it, and it came out with two really solid people. One, ended up taking over for me at my last job when I quit, and they didn't even have to backfill a position to do an extra designer because it was that solid. Next up is Nicole. She's crushing it for me right now still. So it's just like the process for me has worked. Hopefully this is how other hiring managers do it. So I'm actually giving you some good advice. But Praj, you just asked about the ideal number of case studies. Perfect segue into you don't need that many. I tried to hire somebody before I hired that person who took over for me. I tried to hire somebody else who only had 2 case studies, right? And at least one of them was fake. I didn't even go into the other one because look, this is where I'm going into the context of why I started this whole spiel and rant is. When I'm looking at your portfolio, I am looking for a UI shot or context or whatever, some way to say, oh, look, that type of work right there, the way that they did that layout, the way that they played with that information architecture, that's going to be able to translate to the work that I'm going to have them do at my startup or at my agency or whatever. And so I'm looking for that first on the case study. And so when you've got a grid of case studies, do your best to show different types of layouts for each app, right? Don't just show the homepage or the splash screen, whatever, because all of it kind of blends together into one where it's like, okay, cool, you got some branding, you got some graphic design, cool. But if you can show me one that's like a fucking doctor's office form, oh my gosh, like you will probably stand out so big because that is most of design work is figuring out how to manage forms and make like actually usable forms that are easy to input and easy to manage and also fun to input, right? Because it's not just text fields, right? Anyways, I don't want to derail on that side, but what I will say is there has been people who actually went from, I looked at a few of their case studies and it was like, I don't know. And then they went to I should probably interview this person simply because I found UI that matched perfectly with the stuff that I'm about to do, right? Or I'm about to have them do. And so that really quick, if you are doing multiple case studies, try to go very broad with the industries that you're showing because it's going to allow you to, or it's going to allow me as the hiring manager to envision you in the role that I have, right? And for me, that might be managing an admin panel, whereas another person or another team is hiring somebody for like a social media app, right? And so those are 2 very different use cases, 2 very different experiences. Yeah, there's going to be some crossover, but if you can show like all of those industries in one like portfolio on different case studies, it's going to allow me to find the one that I'm interested in, which is like admin panel shit. I'm going to click on that case and I'm going to read it, right? I'm going to watch it. Like that's the one that I'm going to really dive into, right? I'm going to go through the whole deal. I'm going to skip over all of the proto persona shit. I'm going to like make sure really quick, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to make sure that you did do some thinking. And then I'm going to look at the end result, right? I look at that and then I go back. And if it's good enough, I'll go back and look at the strategy like in more detail. And then I'll say, okay, that I can see how that translates into the UI that I just looked at the bottom of their case study. Now let me go do another deep dive, check it out, cross-reference. Okay, wow, this person is like showing me some things that might be solid. Now I'm going to go back to the homepage and look at another case study to see if that same process is present over on that other side. And to also see how the other case study came to be, how the end results look and all of that stuff. And so that is how hiring managers are going to be looking at your portfolios when they're going and doing it. And so, yeah, I mean, does all that make sense? I hope that it does. And so now going back over to Dikshit's portfolio, we, that's what I just did right here, right? Back on the homepage. I'm looking at the grid of options that you gave me. I see some branding. That's okay. I see 2 brandings. I see 3 brandings. Well, is this their 3rd branding? Yeah, that's the 3rd branding. So I'm already going to be going into this one, which seems like the only one that's actually like a product or a website or whatever. I'm going to be going into this one already a little bit like, damn, this person's probably more branding than product. So let's just see if they can show me something in the one project that they actually have relevant work with. So yeah. Will I be recording these reviews? Yes, I will. It's all on my YouTube channel. Go check that out. We are currently live streaming over there as well. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, so knowing all that context, I just wanted to quickly give you all that context really quick, and here we go. We're gonna keep scrolling through, and I will say the fact, like now that I'm going through all this, I'm seeing all these visualizations, and I'm actually saying to myself, nice. I'm glad that that branding is still prevalent in the way that they present information, right? Me as a product designer, a lot of the work I'm going to be doing, a lot of the work I'm going to be having you do as a product designer or a person designing inside of my agency, I'm going to be looking for the way that you present information, how you do information architecture through hierarchy, and all of that stuff. And now what I'm thinking is, great, those branding projects are clearly helping them be able to present some information on this side of the table. So great, okay, cool. They've got a nice case study, got some good vibes. Okay, yeah, it's a classic Behance move right there. Now let's get into the actual UI really quick. Okay. Cool. And so now I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see how the branding is translated a little bit into this. And I mean, this is a pretty good look. I think the one side is like the strategy here. Embrace change. Okay. It's sort of like, for me, the real struggle that I have now is I like this stuff already, right? This was the old design. So give me the context of why you wanted to redo it. Maintain competitive edge, conscious investment in AI tools to showcase our commitment. See, none of those things are actually result in why the hell are we redesigning this from scratch, right? These are content changes, right? These are nice layouts, nicely designed stuff already. Why can't you just redo the content, right? And so now I'm going to be thinking, oh shit, if I'm trying to give them something like of a redesign or a new feature, right? Are they going to try to redesign from scratch every single time? I don't know. And because there's no strategy beyond, we want to stay ahead of the game, right? So that's a concern for me a little bit. Now, and really the only reason I'm bringing this up is it started nice, right? And then it ended pretty nice too, right? And so it's kind of like, I don't need to see data. I don't need to see like a bunch of user interviews or anything like that. But I do need to see a problem that you found that basically was the antithesis of or incited you to go make the redesign. And maybe it was just like an agency that you worked with, and they were like, "Hey, go redesign it," right? But if that's the case, like, make up a fucking reason, right? I'm not gonna go check out what's the agency's called? I'm not gonna check out Calypso and say, "Hey, is this why you redesign your website?" No, like just fake it. Fake a reason if you don't have a reason, fake it to at least try to seem strategic in your design. So yeah, I mean, again, like the visualizations are pretty solid. Like anything on Behance is going to look pretty good. So I already kind of had a good feeling walking into it. So like overall, the design here and the case study and all that is good. I want a lot more strategy up here specifically. And look, I'm not trying to say strategy in terms of like, show me all the product personas and stuff like that. No, everybody's strategy is a little bit different. Personas are useful in certain situations, but it all starts from the problem, right? Like the reason I need to use personas is because my stakeholder doesn't agree with me, and I built out these personas. I got buy-in on those personas. I got buy-in on the challenges that those personas are going to have, and then I went and said, "This is why we need to make this design decision," right? That's why I use personas, and so cool. If that happened in a project, fucking use that. Hell yeah. hell yeah, use that. But but for me, strategy is like all of those bits are tools in your strategy kit. And so for this one, like it didn't have anything besides the fluff, right? Because there was no problem, right? Every strategy starts with a problem, and your creative solution fixes it somehow, right? And so I think like that's the real thing that's missing from this. And yeah, like again, like all your content, like the text that you're saying is really solid, right? So I would say keep running on all the stuff that you're doing. Just tighten up the colors a bit up here. Tighten up this section into the banging section that I envisioned while I was talking about that. Play with the icons. Be a lot more strategic in the way you use your icons. Drop this 8 hours regularly thing. Very confusing for me. Find a way to bring this above the fold, and then give me some more context on the case studies to make me click that case study and read about it. So those are the big takeaways for you over there, Dixit. Cool. Did you have fun there, guys? What do you think? What do you think? Was that worth a segment? I feel like that was worth a segment. I got some good rants going. Really, that's all that this is about. It's just like finding ways to get me to go rant for a bit. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much, Nicole, for jumping in over on TikTok and hitting a Vig. Yeah, definitely. If you want me to do a portfolio review like I just did, check out just DM me on whatever platform you're on, and we will. I'll be putting you into my list. Next week I'm going to be out of town, so I'm not going to be doing live streaming Wednesday through Friday. So it's going to be like a half week for me. Going to New York City for the first time in my life. Isn't that crazy? Never gone to New York before. But yeah, okay. But anyways, ask me anything. Let's chat a little bit, guys. Where am I from? I'm from Tampa, Florida. So if you're not familiar with Tampa, I'm in this basically Central Florida is where it's at, like west of Orlando. So super helpful stuff. Send me a DM for a future review. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And by the way, don't feel like you have to show up every stream. You should show up for every stream, but if you ever miss the stream that I happen to review your portfolio on, don't sweat it. Just go check out my YouTube. All that's up there and posted over there. Okay, so now Bo, you finally getting your question. What tool extension site do you prefer for accessibility checks? I mentioned one. Yes. So it's funny. I actually have this is my second machine on my PC here. I've got a Mac at home, and on there I use this tool that is like a global tool, and it's called Use Contrast. And there is actually a Figma plugin for this as well, but it looks exactly like this, right? You can color pick from both sides, and then you can also flip the two. And what's awesome about it inside of Figma is they actually tell you how it can be used, right? Valid for all font sizes and weights, right? Those things tells you and guides you on how to use it throughout. And so yeah, I would definitely suggest use Contrast. I think it was like $1 for the global computer level plugin, but I think it's free over on Figma. Yeah, you're on all three. That's amazing. Oh man, that's awesome. Can I streamline my streams into just one? I don't want to because essentially I want to be able to if you're happen to be browsing on TikTok, you find me. If you happen to be browsing on Instagram, you find me. If you happen to be browsing on YouTube, you find me. So sorry for saying you find me a bunch there, everybody. Anybody have any other questions? Over on Instagram, do you have any experience in Upwork freelancing, or is it worthy to spend time on? Okay, so here's my thing. If you put an effort in, I think you can be successful on there. But I think if the amount of effort you've got to put on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever is the same level of effort you're going to have to do in the real world anyways. So I would say the best platform for you to find work on freelancing basis is Google Maps. Go find local businesses around you and just be very not slimy, but remove all shame and just like message a bunch of people, find their content, redesign like half of their website, and say, "Yo, I can do this better. Here it is." And then jump in and be like, "If you want this built, I can do it for whatever." Because like I feel like in the early days on Upwork and Fiverr, you're gonna have to grind that hard anyways. And so like, because here's my thing: if I'm hiring somebody from Fiverr, I kind of know what the market is in there, right? I'm either going to be looking for somebody like locally or from my community to work with me, right? Like that's one. But then there's the other side of people who are just like saying, I want to go find somebody who like can do this one exact task for a relatively low price. I think that's where you go to Fiverr or Upwork or whatever for that. And then when you get there, you're not going to be super stingy about like, oh, this person's like $1 an hour lower. But no, you're going to be looking at reviews, right? You're going to be saying like, this person has 100 reviews, whereas this person's way cheaper, but they've only got 1 review or 0, right? And so like you're going to be going up against people who are entrenched players who have been like grinding on Upwork and Fiverr for a long time. And so again, like, don't wait for inbound if you don't have a platform already. Go outbound and go hard on it. So yeah, all right. Okay, going over to TikTok. If a company doesn't hire me, but I did a redesign, can I include that on my portfolio? Hell yeah. Maybe just drop their name, or did they actually use it? Did they actually use your redesign, Pompe? Because if you redesigned somebody who was like interviewing you, and they went and used your designs, like, damn, that is super unethical. That fucking sucks. That sucks. If you did, let me know the name. We're gonna go find them on Google Maps, and we're gonna do a bunch of bad reviews on them. I'm not trying to like throw shade, but that is like crazy unethical. Like, holy cow. I hope they didn't do that. Okay, going back to Instagram, how to not get confused between good-looking UI and really good UX. Okay, you didn't use it. Okay, yeah, all right, sweet. Yo, I was about to have a meltdown there about it. Okay, but I would say definitely use it. Maybe just remove their brand, but use like some other like generic word that kind of is in their industry. I think that would be totally fine to do. So yeah, okay. All right, so getting back over to Instagram again, how to not get confused between good-looking UI and really good UX. Well, here's the thing. Now I'm going to do a little bit of shill really quick here, but I've got over 6 hours course about UI strategy that goes exactly into this detail, and it's 25% off right now. But I'll give you an actual answer, not just hide behind that paywall. But in general, what I would say is, like, you can't get confused between good UI and bad UX if you are trying to visualize for a solution that you already are strategic about. Now, let me explain what I'm saying there. So, when you say I want to do like we need to do this feature and it needs to have these data points inside of the design or whatever. Now you're going to start like formulating like, okay, for a sign-in form, we're going to need this and this. You can start mapping out the layout, right? Oh, we're going to do, SSO. So we've got to have an email input and then ask for a code or whatever. And so like all of those things are things that you start visualizing. You already know what they look like. You don't know what they look like, but you know rough outline of what they're going to look like. And that's where you go to Dribbble, to Pinterest, to Behance, and you start looking for designs and layouts that match what you see in your mind. And that's where you can't go wrong with any UI that you're using as inspiration if you come in with a strategy, right? And then from there, when you find something that actually matches with that visualization that you had in your mind, like, hell yeah, you're onto something, go design it and make it look as banging as hell. Because good UI is also good UX, right? Like we all, even non-designers, love to look at nice looking things, right? We like good design is still beautiful design, right? Like those two are connected, right? Now you can definitely make beautiful design that isn't good or of sound strategy, but again, everything that you're doing is walking in with strategy in mind. And so yeah, there you go. Really long-winded answer. But you get it. What do I think about UX Design Institute's professional diploma? I don't know about that at all. So sorry, but I would say that for the most part, I believe that you do not need a boot camp. You do not need a diploma. You do not need, sorry, you might need a degree, but I don't think that you need a relevant degree to be able to go and become a designer, a professional designer. I really don't believe that because I don't have a relevant design degree, and I've got a bunch of stuff. So I think that. Yeah, so I would say just do more work, right? And so again, gonna show my own stuff, but this one's free at least. This one's free. I've got a design challenge where every day you get a free email newsletter, and it gives you like a bunch of stuff to go design every day. And I think that's the best thing that any designer can do who's pre-career is just get more work under your belt. So check my bio for that. It's called 70rad. Or go to 70rad.com. Yeah. Okay. Praj, how about adding video editing projects to your portfolio? I think you were on here earlier, and going into that portfolio that I reviewed, just understand that any time that you're applying to a design job and you're talking about your skills outside of design, it does not help me want to hire you, right? It might illuminate something about you, but it doesn't help me say this person's worthy of an interview, right? Now I will say, I'm kind of looking for a video editor, or I kind of have one, but I'm also really slow moving on it. But so it's for somebody like me, I might be interested in your video editing projects. But again, am I about to give you video editing work? If you want that, then heck yeah, add that in there. But I wouldn't use video editing or any peripheral skill in your portfolio unless you're applying to jobs for that thing. What I usually do is the assignments that I submit, I just post them as mini UX redesign and mention the organization. Yeah, that's cool. Love that. Talking about logging in or using work that you had to do while in an interview situation. Framer is very trendy in the market nowadays. What do you think? Do UX designers really need to learn this, as most of YouTubers are now creating and promoting Framer courses? Yeah, that's a really good question. So I am in a long-term partnership with Wix, so I am definitely biased in this situation. So just wanted to give that asterisk really quick right there. However, I think that any web design platform is worthy of learning if you go and learn it and use it, right? All of them have different angles or approaches to it. Webflow is built for scaled websites, really large scale websites that have lots of pages. I think Webflow is really good. Wix Studio has a similar thing, but it comes at it from a different way that's a little bit less systematic. But also that's a good thing if you're less systematic about your approach and you just jump in and make designs from the editor rather than from code or properties, right? Framer is a similar thing. It's a new wave, and also there's a new product that I had to turn down because I'm doing exclusivity with Wix. But basically, this other program, I don't even think it's launched yet, but it's similar to Framer in that you design stuff in Figma and it goes right out, right? And again, I never actually used Framer, but I'm pretty sure that there's a Figma to Framer thing. Oh my god, I'd sound like a fucking idiot if not. But anyways, the front end builder shit, the front end builder stuff, that is really where all of this is going. And so, okay, cool. Thank you, Nicole, for saving me. But yeah, so I would say pick one. I think Wix Studio is good. I'm paid to say that though. So use that as your judgment, and just understand that that all these platforms are really good if you spend the time to learn them. However, if you're applying to product design jobs, you don't need to worry about web design. If I'm hiring for a product designer, I'm not sitting there stressing about your web design chops, right? Now it does help me illuminate if you have a killer portfolio that just looks really fucking cool, very interactive and all that, I can 100% say that is going to give you a good check, right? It's going to bring you up in my book of this person's worthy of an interview. The prettier and better your website and portfolio is, the more that happens. And it's because, you've got design chops, right? Like you've got a core ability to make good good design that's visually like stunning and works, right? And so I think that is the core thing that you need to work on, really. So yeah. All right. Anybody else got any other questions? I might be logging off here in a minute. Looking to pivot from marketing to UX. Any tips? I have 3 years marketing experience and a UX cert. Okay, that's a cool question. Let me think on that for a sec. So I think that again, okay, here we go. So I'm all about theses. Theses. I don't know. I'm all about having a thesis that you can present in your portfolio across your entire portfolio, right? So from your homepage, from your entry book, it should be, you could talk about the marketing thing, right? Like, but only use it as like a way to illuminate your design process, right? So like, I'm assuming that if you've been in marketing for a long time, and you've like worked professionally, you've had to do a lot of data analysis. You've had to strategically use data and then put a plan into action around that data, right? And then you had like frameworks and plans, and you set up the whole strategy to be able to be read out at the end on did it work or not, right? Like, holy shit, that is the design process. Just like unplug marketing and plug in design. And so I would say like lean into that side of it if you're trying to use something like marketing as a tool for getting hired as a designer, because what it did was it forged you into a process designer who uses data and can take data, turn it into a test, and then have an actual formulated test that can be said whether it was successful or not at the end, right? And again, that should be your thesis, right? And obviously I just said like a bunch of words all at once. So how can you turn that into like 10 or 15 words? That's tough, right? That's really tough. But I think that's something that you've got to figure out for yourself. And then once you do, use that on your homepage as much as you can in your case studies. Use that, like show that you did that in your work, right? And I think that's really like the key that you need to do. Oh my God, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. I don't want to sneeze on camera. Stop it. Okay, sorry, everybody. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, Ken. Yeah. All right. We're all perfectionists here. Every single person in the stream is probably a perfectionist, right? So you've got to let yourself go, and then you've got to reel yourself in. Let me explain. Find ways to not be a perfectionist about the design, but rather find ways to be a perfectionist about the way you design, right? So when you're doing an auto layout, right? Like when you're working in auto layout, all of you know, if you've worked with auto layout, there's that moment where you did the input, like the little item is a fill, and then there's another thing over there that's a fixed width, and then the whole thing can be flexed out and wide because they're set to be like gap spacing and all of that, right? Like have that be your perfectionism, because that is also going to help you later on when you want to change that icon or add a second icon or whatever. Like those things are actually valuable to your design process. And so find ways to make the process that you're designing be the perfectionism and not the actual designs, right? And it will allow your like little OCD brain to say like, okay, cool, like whatever, I'll just go design now. Like it's good enough. Let's move on because the auto layout's perfect. So yeah, I would say that has helped me a lot. And if you want to get really good at auto layout, if you want to get really good with frames and being a future-proof designer, go check out my Figma course, which is 25% off. Okay, cool. I'm just like gonna find ways to chill all the time. All right. Snuffles over on TikTok. Hey, just a question, not mad or anything, but what is going to happen with unicorns? All love. Yo, hey, appreciate you, Snuffles. And to be honest with you, I get that question pretty much every live that I'm on. And the truth is I miss it a lot. It was this project that in Web3 that I used to do. And like basically what happened was we ran out of money, and then we kept going for like 3 months. And was like paying out of pocket. I'm still in debt over it. and all that. So like for me, like the market's waking up again, which is cool. But I'm also not financially in a position to be able to run that right now, because I'm doing all this other stuff that, and I'm like, I'm getting by for sure. But all that I will say, I can't promise anything, but all that I will say is it is my ultimate goal, right, to go back and do that again. I don't know when it's going to be. Probably going to be a few years from now, if anything. But it definitely, like for me, I'm hoping to do this like this thing that I'm doing right now for the rest of my life. And so like when you've got that pan, it's we're gonna be able to pan a lot later. So okay. Over back to Instagram. What is ideally a start for a person who wants to transition from a different job of more than 10 years? Juniors are hired with experience, but interns aren't paid enough. So how can I go how can one go internship? Yes or no? Wait, sorry. Okay. What is ideally a start for a person who wants to transition from a different industry? Okay. So really quick, Rupesh. Sorry, I'm brutalizing your name. But if you're transitioning from another industry, just understand that like hiring managers are not going to care, right? They're not going to care. However, I just went through this whole spiel about how to use marketing tactics to be able to say, I'm using those tactics over on design, right? Like because I spent 3 years marketing, getting all this banging shit out, like being able to make strategy off of data, use that data to make tests on the strategy, and then that like those strategies actually worked, and here's the results. Like I'm using that to be able to go about my design approach too, right? That's how you use your 10 years of experience in another industry. Like I, as a hiring manager, don't care at all what other industry you came from. However, if you're like a killer graphic designer, that probably means that and you've got 10 years of experience in that. You probably have pretty good interpersonal skills. You've worked with stakeholders before. You've worked with annoying clients before, and all of that. And so because of that, that's powerful stuff to talk about. And so how can you translate that into having that on your hero of your portfolio? How can you translate that to your case studies? Everything about your case study should be talking about that, of all of your stakeholder management. And because I've been doing this for 10 years, I'm really good at it. And like that's what you should use on your transferable skills, because there's probably not much transferable skills from any industry from one to the next, right? Like I swear, like going back, I haven't done web design too much for the last like 7 years. And like I'm going back to it more, and I'm like, damn, like I'm rusty as hell, because I've been so in the weeds on product design. And that's like two things that are still called UI UX, right? UI UX web, UI UX product, very different worlds, right? And very non-transferable skills. And it's also too why it's tough to go from agency work to product team work. Like that transition is not an easy one. You could be a designer, a junior designer in an agency for 3 or 4 years and still have a tough time landing a product design job, because it is a very different process, right? It's a cushier process over on product. I'll tell you what, product teams is the cushiest shit you can find. But it's also like difficult because you've got to be so good at that stakeholder management. And so if you've been a graphic designer freelancing for 5 years, and then you worked at an agency and crushed it for 5 more years as a graphic designer, like hell yeah, you've got some really good chops around stakeholder buy-in, managing difficult people, and all of that. And that is basically product team work. So just like find ways to present that, and then say, and I came up with some banging UI. Here you go. There you go. I think that was my best rant of the day. What do y'all think? I don't know. That's it. Oh man. Miss checking up on everything. Yeah, honestly. Yep. I work with Web3 projects. What did you learn from Stranded Unicorns? What would you do differently? Oh, geez. There's so much that I can talk about Web3 and why we failed, why I dislike lots of parts of the Web3 industry. The biggest one, though, is for me is a lot of Web3 projects is essentially playing stock market, right? Like, I mean, you get it. You buy Solana, you hope it goes up, right? Like that's stock market shit, right? Now, like when you're doing like NFT projects and stuff like that, you're essentially you're staking whatever project you're on. So if you're building on Solana, you are not only buying Solana, you're then staking it and reserving it to be able to invest that thing into another project so that that goes up, and then you can sell it for Solana and then sell Solana for fiat, right? Like though you're basically making, like, the NFT world is like a mini stock market. And the trouble there is shit is so high stakes because of that, that nobody can actually support like projects long term in any meaningful way that is meaningful the way that Web3 people talk about it, right? Like, and look, I'm not salty. We fucked up in a lot of ways. We didn't make the right decisions in a lot of ways. Like, I would do a lot of things differently if I went back to it. However, I will say though, like, the market is not what I thought it was going in. I thought that people would love builders. I thought that people would love like tech focused people because that's what everybody talks about. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a shit about that. People want to make money in that world. People want to make more money or more Solana so that they can sell that Solana for Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever's the hot thing right now. And I think that's the struggle, is I was too much of an idealist. And I kept thinking that, we keep building, we'll start getting that audience. And like 100% the wrong move, right? And we tried to adjust towards the end. It was just too late. But I think like those are some of the biggest takeaways that I have of it, is that like the community that we made was so fucking amazing. We just couldn't go beyond that. Right. And that was really where the money was, right? That was really where we would all go home and with our bags and be like fucking partying, right? And I think like I was more hopeful that like, because we had all of the building, we had an awesome pumping community and all that it would translate into outsiders being like, hell yeah, I'll drop money in and just like passively hang out. But it just didn't happen, Also too, I think we weren't big on Twitter, which is, the biggest issue, I think too. But, yeah. I don't know if you have done it, but a video on what happened and what you hope could happen. All I dreamed of. What would it take from possible investors to get you on project again? The struggle is basically we were running at about $25,000 a month. Because we had people building for us, we had designers, we had community managers, all that. We were running about $25,000 a month. I also had a part-time job, and we were doing client work on top of that to like get by. So, basically we were running empty for like 3 months on $25,000 a month of costs, and so that was really where it fell apart, and why I got to take a personal loan. Like basically, me and my brother, we split the debt, and that's where it's at. And so like I think it would take having an extra $25,000 a month to run, and we were tight then, like with $25,000. We're like. I think too that's why the games didn't work out, is we needed more money to be able to pay better game devs who were not flakes. I won't get into that at all. But there's just a lot of stuff where I was like, I thought would translate, or the world was a little bit different, and it wasn't. And that's on me for assuming that stuff. It's not on any of the people who were involved or not involved, right? But yeah. Sorry, everybody who's here for design content to derail. Honestly, it's one of those things I think about all the time. Is just how close we were, but also how far we were. But also too, I think that's what every venture that you do, you learn so much, right? Like, I became a different person through it, right? I look at the world differently. Maybe it's a little bit more callous, but it's also a bit more excited, and optimistic about the world, right? Like, my timetable I learned so much on that last, like all the Web3 stuff before then, all the Tapestry stuff, all the Rad Collab stuff that we were doing. Like it was so like, we need to launch this next month or we're fucked. And then we launched it. It was like, we need to get this many users to buy these many things or we're fucked. Like it was so on an edge, right? And so I became such a better like process person around the business of it because of it, right? I think too, we didn't raise money when we should have. Me and my brother were also too idealist on that too. Like we were, you know, you look at like the greats of the 70s, 80s, 90s, who just like kind of like built it in their garage, right? You know, nobody really talks about that, like how much they were raising money. Like everybody kind of was just like, they just blew up and like, not that we were like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed naive about it, but we were really hopeful that like, we got a good community. They're like showing up for us. They'll keep showing up for us, and we'll be able to keep growing as we get more people coming in. A few of those things didn't happen, and you know, like I think like so much we needed like 6 months of runway in the bank to be able to survive any of the things that we went through. Like and to maybe potentially come out on where we're still running right now, right? And we had like zero. We had negative month runway. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the big takeaway for anybody who's starting a venture out is you've got to raise money as soon as you can, unless you're being really patient, which that's what I'm doing right now, or at least trying to do right now is. I'm being way more patient and methodical because I've also scaled my timeline out, right? Where, you know, before it was, I want to be like cranking it in a few months. And now it's, I want to be doing this for the rest of my life, right? Like the rest of my working life, I've probably got at least 20 years of working life to go, at least, right? And I don't want to retire. I just want to keep doing this. It's so fun, right? And so I think too, like, you know, circling back to actual design education and career advice and all that stuff that I'm usually doing now is like, I would suggest that try as much as you can to scale your timeline of whatever you're doing out as far as you can. And be much more conservative with that estimate. Because of what it's going to do is it's going to force you to set your life up in a way to survive until you make it, right? Like I think that's the truth of it is Stranded would have been successful eventually. We just didn't have the money to last until it happened, right? Same deal with what I'm doing right now. You know, like for now I'm doing okay, but if I don't like pick it up or if I try to go too fast, then I'm going to be tight on money. I'm going to have to like shut down a lot of things and a lot of initiatives that I don't want to shut down because I'm trying to invest for the future and all that stuff. And so I think like try to do that as a designer or early career person of anything that you're doing is find ways to survive as long as you can, because if you truly want to do this, you could do it. You just got to keep going. And so, yeah. That's what I'll leave you all on. I'm going to go ahead and get off of my high horse now and say much love for all of you being here. I was only planning this to be an hour. It ended up being an hour and a half. So heck yeah. I'll be back here tomorrow again for another stream around noon Eastern time. So hopefully we'll be chatting again soon. Bye, guys. I got to go live. I got to hop off live in 3 platforms. Hold on.